Hello and welcome to today's video from the Lawn Association, and today's video is all about mowing the meadow. So, welcome along. This young man I'm going to introduce in a couple of seconds. I've been in this business 44 years, believe it or not, and I've known this man for most of them. And behind every sort of wonderful lawn, there's always somebody like this chap as well. And this is Richard from RT Machinery. As I say, it's a man I've known for a long time, isn't it?
Yes, we're over 35 years at least.
We're over 35 years. It's a long time. Yeah, we'll have to hold this out a bit. So yes, tell me a little bit about RT Machinery. Now, if you don't know, there'd probably be a link down here somewhere. I say that as if it's going to happen magically. Tell me a little bit about RT Machinery. I know obviously an awful lot. And I know some of the fantastic equipment you've got and some of the wonderful hire equipment that you've got as well, which could suit every sort of bit of garden, I suppose, whether it be a meadow, whether it be a manicured lawn, whether it be a bit of bramble or bracken or whatever. Tell me a brief little bit about it, if you can do your 40 odd years.
I'll try and condense this down if I can for you.
Yeah.
So RT Machinery as a business, we're a family owned business. 25 years trading an independent company and 25 years experience prior to that in the lawn care and in the turf care industry. So as you know, David, lawn care, very broad, can be from a small plot to large rolling acres. And we've tried to plot ourselves there as a company that specialise. We have a range and a group of specialist products, all tried and tested. The staff that work with me, long-term staff, lots of knowledge, but also people that we've brought on through the years. So our sales team, we're demonstrators, we're operators, we're fixers, we're
incredibly
repairers.
Friendly as well.
Thank you for
your
that.
lot, and I mean that. I mean, I could say anything, but you know, I've known your company a long time, and as you say, I've known a lot of the staff for a long time. Not necessarily by name, but then I don't know a lot of people by name, including my family most of the time as well. But they're incredibly helpful. Now, it's easy to say that, you know, when you're selling something, but you can't fake that for very long. If you've got it in you, if you're a nice salesman, you're a nice salesman, you know, and that's something I've learned from your company. You know, I've obviously known a lot of them for a long time, and they still, even though I might not spend £1 million a year with you, they're still incredibly polite and friendly, and that says a lot, actually.
I think if you turn it upside down and look at where we came from, how we started from working on the tools and from working, I think my first knowledge of knowing you would have been when I was behind the parts counter.
It was, probably,
and that's the core of the business. We're passionate about what we do. All of the members in the team, they do what they do because they enjoy doing it. They're not there challenged by big targets. We have a budget, we have a plan, we have a operation with good premises, with good resources. The guys are trained, but everything they do is because they enjoy doing it, and I think that comes through the business. You've just confirmed it. I get it back a lot from the people I work with.
Tell me about the area, because obviously what you get with a lot of big companies, they have a certain area. It might be very small, you know, quite big, but there might be a multinational, so to speak. But you cover quite a big area from your base, sort of near Aylesbury way, isn't it? Aylesbury direction, anyway. Yeah,
so we're central. Where we look where we are on a map, pretty much centre of the country. The team that are based with me are local people. We feed in from sort of a 20-mile radius. That pushes me back out on the range that I can cover on a day-to-day, because people can work from home, can travel from home. So we work into London, we work up as far as Birmingham. We deliver machines down to Cornwall. We install machines into Wales. It's about resource, and it's about having the ability to think about what needs to happen at the front. We don't ship out in boxes. We don't sell off the internet and have a carrier come and pick it up.
It's very
what
personal.
We do is personal. It's thought about. It's not compromised on price either end. I won't sell just for the sake of it. If we have to say to somebody, sorry, we can't help you, but Fred might be able to. It's better for me. It's better for the industry. the company overall. But we'll travel,
Yeah.
and that comes with the package, personal service.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that time, I think the big thing that's missing from a lot of knowledge and a lot of product purchase is time.
Yeah.
You need the handover. You
Yeah,
need
yeah.
the
Yeah.
ability to be able to get people to understand what they're doing with the product that they buy.
Yeah.
If that works,
Yeah.
we're back down there in a year's time to pick it up and service it.
Yeah.
Everything's ticking, everything's fine.
And it's been incredibly successful, so much so that you even have a little badge that's very special to you as well.
It is, yes. We're very proud holders of a Royal Warrant,
Yep.
which is something that everybody within the business has a great respect for and appreciates.
Did you have to demo to any of the royal household at all?
We have. We've worked with the
I
household.
just want to
for
know
a
whether
long period of
Charlie
time.
can sit on a mower and cut grass. Really,
I wouldn't know about that
you
bit of
wouldn't
it.
know.
But I'd like to think that
Yeah.
what we do with the team that we work with in any of the special properties that we work with,
Yeah.
and that's through the warrant, but it's also with the special businesses and associations, the National Trust, other places.
Yeah.
Any of the teams that we work with have a really good understanding of RT machinery just through the manner and the way that we work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That would mean that they're in turn experienced and able to pass on instruction and operational use
Yeah.
to their team. So it kind of does stretch out. Who knows who sits in what seats and when, but it's if the job's done right, we
It's
know
apples to orchards at the end of the day.
It
It's the
is,
same
yeah.
philosophy, you
Yeah.
know, a little bit of knowledge and courtesy and a good product generally will grow in a place that sometimes you perhaps didn't think it would. But that's the beauty of doing it all the time in a really, really professional manner. Now, one of the other quick things, before we get onto these two beasts here, one of the other quick things which we were just elaborating on a minute ago was how battery power and sustainability within what we do, how important it is to you guys as well.
Yeah, I'd like to think that this little industry that we're in is actually been at some of the cutting edge of the move and the change within power
Yeah.
and operation in the lawn and the garden and commercial grass cutting world. I've got clients that we work with that have made really big commitments.
Yeah.
More than you would see in the day-to-day with some of normal business, high street business.
Yeah.
In the fields and in the pastures and the lands that we're working on, there's farmers, there's gardeners
Yeah.
that are using battery backpack
Yeah.
blowers that will last all day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got strimmers, hedge cutters,
Yeah.
lighter, less vibration,
Yeah.
emissions of course.
Yeah.
There are other products and methods we work with and use too, different fuels. So we've got diesels now which are produced with a much lower content and biodiesel or biodiesel as we'd call it.
And
as
we
well.
also work with the biggest carbon sequestration plant on the
Yeah.
planet
Yeah.
as well. So all the time that you're saving those CO2 emissions, you know, grass, lawns are absorbing it every day,
Yeah.
just as it should
You're
do.
quite right. There is the natural surfaces that we work in, the natural environment. I think also looking at the bigger picture, the products that we sell, if we're selling the right products that are built well,
Yeah.
that perform well,
Yeah.
circularity,
Yeah.
length of life, we could put a set of gang mowers out to a sports field. We might see them again. I might not, but we might see them again in 50 years' time.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a lot to be said from
Yeah.
selecting the purchase of the right product that's
Yeah.
built well enough
Yeah.
to think of sustainability in the
Yeah.
bigger picture as well.
Yeah.
So different fuels, different processes of operation, the cycle and the movement, where's it come from, how did it get here,
Yeah.
where's its next life going to be.
Yeah.
Sustainability is a big part of what we do.
Of course. And one of the things that we've done here at Lawn Association headquarters is try and grow a meadow. And one of the things that we've struggled with is the type of grass we've got. It's incredibly competitive, I suppose.
Yeah.
It grows this way, it's stoloniferous, so it grows all across the UK. But in a meadow environment, it's not great because it creeps too much and stops the germination. Last year, we ran out of time last year to chop it down purely because of the wet weather. It's almost like that now. But you've come along today with two bits of beefy very beefy looking bits of kit to give us a hand to try and get it down and see what it comes up like. So give me a very quick, before we sort of fire on with them, give me a quick understanding what these two actually are.
So I think really we ought to think about the cutting types of what we've got with the machines we've got here initially. So we've got a flail mower, so that's working at the crop, cutting the crop through from the top down the stem as it comes through, pulling up from the bottom, pulverising and mulching as it goes. So that's kind of the get over and get the job done application type of unit. We've also brought a rotary machine. The rotary machine is cutting more in the bottom of the stem, and that's more for cutting the product and moving it.
Okay.
As we hit it, we're pushing, particularly with this machine, the Artesia machine, we're only touching the grass once as we hit it. We're hitting it at the bottom and we're pushing it through with the open aperture straight into the box.
Yeah.
So the principle and method of that, in the right conditions, is that we take the crop away with us as we work.
Yeah.
Might take a little bit more work, a bit more time, but it's going to allow us to collect and remove some of the material as we go. This one is going to mulch fine enough to break the material down and leave a good even distribution. And we could do a flail mower in a pedestrian. We've got pedestrian wheel, we've got pedestrian tracked. They're all relative to the power from the engine to the size of the flail, so all will work equally as well in what we're doing. In the rotary, we can do it with a rotary cut and collect in a very well designed machine such as the Artesia here, or we can do it with a rotary in a ride-on brush cutter or a walk-behind brush cutter.
Now these are very good apparently for cutting in wet. I mean, I've not used many Artesias, but it's the one that every time somebody talks about an Artesia, it's how well it cuts in the wet. It's almost to the point where I don't believe it, but I do believe it, because not everybody can be wrong. So it'd be very interesting to see how well this does, because obviously we've had a lot of rain. The ground's a bit moist, to say the least. The grass is very wet, so it'd be very interesting to see what we get. So shall we crack on and have a go?
Let's give them a go.
Maybe side by side to do a comparison, just to maybe a couple of runs just to see. It'd be interesting. So let's crack on.
Wow. So that flail system, you can see the easy access on that.
That's
part of the benefit of the larger machine. The smaller machines in the range, you've got a hand crank adjustment. But being able to get that rotor up into the air to check for any wrapping of material, for checking the blades and their integrity before you start work, such a benefit, particularly to an operator that's working in heavy crop, lots of work in a day, needs checking at the end of the day or before you go to work again. So a really easy way to come at it. And what we're doing with these are back-to-back flails that are throwing out under a centrifugal force to give the cutting edge. They're reversible, so we've got a secondary cutting edge on the back and fully adjustable or changeable on the rotor here. So that's the business end of the
and they just
system.
overlap basically to give you a full cut, don't they? Just fraction the overlap.
In effect, we've got a straight edge rotating cutting made up by the centrifugal force and the overlapping of the flails around the rotor. The thing they've got with a flail rotor is a bit of forgiveness. If we had a straight cutting bar, such as on a rotary mower, the only protection we've got is a shear bolt. With this, the fact that the flails are swinging, you get an element of movement. So if you come into a bit of a log or something like that laid in the bottom, you're going to hear it start to grind on that, give you a chance to back away. So this particular machine is on tracks, so very responsive on left to right movement and on the turn. So easy to come away from any problem as well. It's zero turn, so a straight backwards movement on the levers, and we come away from the problem.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Will. If we could drop that back down.
Now, we just stepped away a little bit, one because it's very, very noisy, but the object today, you can get a flail, scarifier type machine, very, very big and heavy, to chop this all down in one go, which would actually allow you a seed bed, if you like. but the object today wasn't to achieve that. That's the object of when we next do and get prepared for that wildflower seed bed, really. So this is incredibly wet grass. This is incredibly thick grass as well. The flail, as you can see, because of the way it's not collecting for a start, but it is a lot more strength, a lot more power. It's able to chop down grass incredibly easy, and it's doing that probably in its first gear, if you like. The Artesia, which is actually cutting, is struggling a little bit more just with the sheer quantity. As I say, there's a twofold idea behind this. First is to chop it down. The way it's growing again at the moment, by probably January, February, it'll be another foot long. So hopefully with some other mowers we can keep on top of it then. And then the idea would be to help vernalise the soil in early spring, perhaps January, February time, where we make some soil contact, get a little bit more of the debris out the bottom so that the wildflower can get in and have a chance before the grass starts to really grow again. But
Okay.
anyway, so there we go, finished. Sun's come out, which would have dried the grass
It makes
very
a big
nicely.
difference, a little bit of sunshine on your back when you're working, doesn't it?
Now, give me your opinion on what you thought about them, and then I'll give you mine.
So to start with, we were challenged, very wet as we know,
Yep.
lots of density in the bottom.
Yep.
The two systems, there was one that was always going to work and process the material well, and that's the flail unit.
Yep.
And I feel that we've gone over the ground very well with that, covered and worked our way through the material. Using the Artesia and the rotary system, I have the capability. We can see right up the far end of the garden,
Yeah.
there's a huge amount of material here
Yeah.
that I've picked up and that I've
small,
moved.
for half a small area.
Yeah.
You know, that's a couple of 100 square metres of grass, and there's a good three ton bags worth there.
Yeah, must
I
be.
wouldn't want to lift them, but
No. What we've been able to do to work with the machine in these conditions is to start off and to learn from it within the first 2 or 3 passes.
yeah.
I worked out that the density, the moisture was too much all in one pass.
Yeah.
So by quartering down or coming down to a third of the width of the cut,
Yeah.
I was able to keep air moving with the
Yeah.
grass.
Yeah, many people wouldn't do that.
No, but it's a little bit of hair and
That's
tortoise.
30, 40 years of knowledge.
Yeah, slowly over the top, by just reducing that amount of material going in, I kept up my forward pace, and I've been able to pick up and clear over the area
Yeah.
pretty well. The benefit of that is the material is off of the ground.
Yeah.
The two together, the ease of use and the motion and the movement of the material, the flail could save the day.
There's always a different machine for the or a machine for the right type of job that you're looking to do.
Yeah.
One thing that we spoke about earlier on camera up there was the fact that this is a twofold thing. You know, the timing and everything that we're trying to do within what we're trying to film, so to speak, for this meadow, or potential meadow, is that we wanted it chopped down this time. The grass will grow over the next few months and grow considerably, and we're going to probably look to early spring to do what I'd call phase 2 of it, where we'd probably look to get a machine where we can open up the sward.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult because it is only a tiny little area, and there probably isn't that sort of pedestrian machine to do that. Maybe there is, I don't know. But what you can see with this job, from what I can see, this one done an absolutely incredible finish. I mean, I have to say, the flail was the right machine just about for this, I would say.
Yeah.
The Artesia actually done an amazing job, better than I actually anticipated. I thought it would block up very, very quickly, but your knowledge, obviously, of not overlapping too far meant that it actually still collected, which I was surprised by. So that's done an equally good job, but this one, you know, this is probably an 8 out of 10. That one's a 7.5. It's pretty blooming close, actually, isn't it? Both cracking machines.
I think you've got to think with the Artesia, it's and this is the Artesia Hydro 100 as we call it.
Yeah.
It's an all-rounder. It's going to mow your lawn. You can see the pathway that I've tidied up and cut through the middle as we finished off. It cuts and collects lush grass superbly. It picks up leaves superbly. What it also does is allows you to have a machine that, with a little bit of time and understanding how it works, to cope with and to cut your annual growth, your meadow growth. So I'm very much an all-rounder. The flail system allows you to have a dedicated machine that you know you can tackle this with year in, year out, whatever stage, whatever level you need to go at it with.
Both can work in a lawn environment, whether you're a private individual or contractor as well. That's something. I mean, you know, for a contractor, these sort of machine build quality.
Well, that's a very good point, actually, David, because affordability has got to come into this as well. And you touched at the beginning on hire. That's a solution and answer for some people, but affordability as well. The process of the flail that we used, we can do that with a very strong walk-behind machine. And we can be a third of the cost of the stand-on, ride-on machine. So from an affordability point of view, a nice walk-behind flail will give you just the same results. It's going to take you a little bit longer.
Of course.
But it's going to do the job and it's going to give you the same results. Come up and start to think about the big picture, about everything you want to do in the garden. And we've got products that will tackle all of it. So it's kind of a nice overlap between the two.
They both got an incredibly good purpose about them. The Orek is Japanese, you say?
Japanese built.
And obviously the Artesia, which a lot of people know is French.
They're French, I always say French Germanic because they're part of the Wolf Group company. And
Wolfgarten, is that?
That's Wolfgarten. So, 3 brothers that set the business up originally. Artesia was one of them, and that was to build a product that was suitable for the pro end of grass cutting and grass green material handling. But Strasbourg. So it's been French, it's been German over the years anyway.
Well, thank you very much for today. It's been a fantastic experience, a very, very simple one in terms of the machines done a lot of the work. Obviously had yourself sat on it, but how good they are is to be seen. You know, it's in actual grass cutting terms, you've probably done this for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. In actual grass cutting on a very wet piece of ground. So that's quite impressive. I'm going to get my son-in-law to rake that bit up. I'm not going to do it.
I'll leave you to that bit. That's
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm sure I will. It's a beautiful day, so I'll be out here raking. Let's.
Well, thanks for inviting us along today.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure to come and have a look at the project that you're on with.
Well, this is one of them. The meadow's a project. It's a different type of lawn. But it is a sort of thing that, you know, lots of people are enjoying these days. So, you know, we've got other bits of grass here that we're doing various things on. You know, it might be another day that we do some other filming with you to showcase some other machines. There's a lot of machines. I think that is one of the things these days. There's not enough exposure on some of the machines. if we're in the business, we know about them, but a lot of homeowners, perhaps even professional people, gardeners, estate managers, don't necessarily know the machines out there. They might if they go to Soltex, and they might if you're there or the brand's there or whatever, but people don't know. Even myself, you know, if I'm not involved in certain companies or around certain companies, you don't quite know. That machine's a prime example.
Exactly.
An absolute dream of a machine. I want one. I don't think my wife would let me buy one for this little area. But as I said, you know, for a great hire,
Yeah.
it's a perfect machine. I would have loved to have done it. But Will's a far better operator than me anyway, probably. So, yeah, thank you very much.
That's right, David.
RT
Thank
Machinery, if you haven't checked them out, hopefully there'll be a link below. And we'll see you very soon with another little project, and we'll certainly do an update on this when we do the next piece of work on it.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Thank you.